If you're a mortgage broker or financial advisor, I'm sure you already know, but it's really important to be active on social media if you want to build up authority and credibility with your potential clients, build relationships with them, and ultimately get yourself more business by differentiating yourself from all the other mortgage brokers and financial advisors who are out there offering the same products and services as you do. But if you're like most mortgage brokers and IFAs that I speak to, your biggest challenge is knowing what to actually post on social media. So in this video, I'm going to share a few tips with you, which are going to make sure that you're never again stuck for ideas for what to post on your social media channels. So as I said there in the introduction, the thing that I know most mortgage brokers and financial advisors struggle with when it comes to social media is knowing what to actually post about. And this is borne out by a poll that I ran recently in the Facebook group that I run for mortgage brokers and IFAs who want to improve their marketing. If you're not a member of that, I'll put a link to the group in the description so you can join it. But I ran a poll in there asking what's the biggest challenge you've got when it comes to using social media to market your business. And as you can see from the results on the screen there, the biggest barrier by far was knowing what to write about. So that's why in this video I'm going to give you some tips on how to make sure that you always have good ideas for what to post about. So the starting point, I think, for this should be to start with your customer persona. Now, hopefully you've already developed a customer persona for your business, the description and the characteristics of your ideal client. If you haven't, then you really ought to do that, because that will underpin not just your social media but all aspects of your marketing. And what we're doing by this is getting a really clear picture of who your ideal client is, and crucially, what their challenges are, what their problems are, what their pain points are, what the questions are that they've got about mortgages or other aspects of financial services, because those are the things that you need to address with your content. If you don't have any idea at the moment about customer personas, again, I'll put a link in the description to an article where I talk about that in more detail and explain how to go about creating your customer persona. Now, when it comes to posting on social media, whichever platform it is, there are various different types of content that you can create. So you can create your own content. That's ideal because that's stuff which is unique to you. But you can also curate content. So you can find useful articles and other information that other people have posted, and you can repost that, retweet it, share it, whatever, for the benefit of your own audience. You can also post personal stuff, and you shouldn't be afraid to do that, because what you want, this is social media, yeah? So it's about getting to know people and be sociable. And the more people know you, the more they're going to come to know, like, and trust you, the more likely they are to want to do business with you rather than someone else. So don't be afraid to let your personality and bits of your personal life come through in what you post on social. Yes, even on LinkedIn. You can run polls, ask questions to get people's opinions on things. They can be a really good way to get engagement. You can share testimonials that people have given, that past clients have given to you. You can share interesting facts, figures and stats about your industry. You can piggyback off other things that are going on. I'll show you an example of that later on, but awareness days are a really good way of doing that. And you should also think with the content that you post about having a call to action. Some of your posts can be purely a call to action to encourage someone to book an appointment with you or download a free guide of yours. They shouldn't all be like that, but you can have some of those in the mix of other things that you're posting. So a good type of content to share is stuff that provides tips and advice. And again, relate this back to what I said earlier on about understanding your customer persona. You should be sharing tips and advice which are going to address the worries, the pain points, the problems, the questions, the challenges, whatever that your typical client is likely to have. So here is an example where it's a bit of advice around what to do about the fact that stamp duty rates are going up, and answering a common question that people might have, i.e., can I add stamp duty costs onto my mortgage? Here's another one. This is not quite answering a question that people have, but giving them some useful advice which is relevant to the kind of people who are going to be looking for a mortgage. Because obviously if you're looking for a mortgage, one of the things you need to know is what your monthly budget is, how much spare money you've got to pay the mortgage each month, etc. So by providing this kind of advice, it's stuff that this broker knows will be relevant to his target audience. But also the other clever thing about this is if you can provide this kind of advice and get potential clients to do this kind of thing before they even speak to you, then you're going to be speaking to clients who are better informed, better educated and better prepared, and therefore they're better quality prospects because they're likely to be in a better position to actually go ahead with applying for a mortgage if they've already done some of this groundwork themselves before they even get in touch with you. One of the other ways you can provide tips and advice and get yourself a nice batch of content already pre-prepared is to do some kind of mortgage glossary or financial advice glossary or whatever, where you take each letter of the alphabet and you go through one letter at a time talking about something that starts with that particular letter, like in this example here, N for negative equity. And of course, if you do that, that's a really quick and easy way to develop a batch of 26 posts, which you can then drip feed out over the course of a number of weeks or months. It's a very good idea as well to focus on your imagery and your branding with your social media posts. So try and have a consistent look and feel to your posts so as they're instantly recognizable as one of yours when people are scrolling through their feeds on Facebook or Instagram or Twitter or whatever it is. And if you want to know more about that, I'll put a link in the description to a separate video that's got some free training on how to use Canva to do really good branding on your social media posts and make them look really eye-catching. This is an example of what I talked about earlier on about piggybacking off awareness days. So there are all sorts of awareness days, some more sort of serious than others, and you can get, there are websites that will give you calendars of all of them. But here is an example where it was an awareness day for National Working Parents Day, and so this particular advisor was using that as a hook on which to talk about the importance of income protection if you're a working parent. And here's an example of what I was saying before about sharing personal stuff. So this is a post from a mortgage broker who's actually one of the members of my group coaching program. And as you can see, it's nothing to do with mortgages. It's a purely personal post. But again, it helps bring through some of the personality behind the individual mortgage broker. It helps people get to know, like, and trust him, which increases the chances that if they've got a choice of 2 or 3 mortgage brokers to deal with, think, well, I'll go to this guy because I kind of feel like I know him a bit already. Here's an example of sharing testimonials from past clients. Again, notice how it's been nicely designed and it's been done with the Trustpilot logo on there to give it extra credibility and make it look more genuine. Here's an example of a case study. Case studies don't have to be huge long paragraphs or war and peace. This is a nice simple sort of one-liner case study, but it still does a really nice job of showing off a success that particular broker has had. You can also try and get some of your clients to produce content for you by encouraging them to take selfies or do other kind of self-generated content that they can tag you in or that you can share to your network. Here is an example. This isn't a mortgage broker or financial advisor, but this is someone who's a jeweler. And one of the things he does, obviously, he makes a lot of engagement rings for people who are about to propose. And so one of the things he encourages his customers to do is, once they've made the proposal and it's hopefully been accepted, to take a selfie of them with the ring and then share that. If you're a mortgage broker, I know a lot of you watching this will be, a similar example could be encourage your clients to take a selfie of them standing outside their new home on completion day, because obviously that's the ultimate outcome of the service you provided for them. It's not the mortgage that's important, it's the fact they've got their new home. So get them to send you some content or share some content that illustrates that. Another thing you can do to make it easier to come up with new content is to actually repurpose existing content. So you can, for example, if you've created a YouTube video, you could take short clips from that video and use those on social media. If you've written a 500 word or 1,000 word blog post, you could take small extracts from that and use those to create a series of social media posts with links back to the main blog if people want to read the whole thing. So I hope you found those tips useful and they've given you some good ideas for how you can more easily come up with stuff to post about on your social media feeds. What I shared with you there was actually a small extract from a group coaching call that I ran a few months ago for the members of the Predictable Pipeline program, where we went through and talked not just about how to come up with the content ideas, but also how to plan out your social media, how to create a proper strategy, how to create content calendars, how to plan your content ahead so you've always got things going out on your social networks, even if you're really busy doing other things. So if you'd like to get access to that whole session, all of the coaching calls we do in that group are recorded, and if you join the program, you'll get access to the last couple of years worth of group coaching calls that we've done, including the one all about social media strategy. I'll put a link in the description where you can find out more about that if that's of interest. If you found this video useful, please do give it a like, and also click the subscribe button so as you're the first to know when I put out more videos like this. And if you've got any comments, questions, feedback on what you've seen today, please do put them in the comments. I'd love to chat with you further about social media and content ideas and help you out as much as I can. Thanks so much for watching. See you again soon.